There's Marcus Camby in his 9th season out of the University of Massachusetts.
You know, last game, PD had 16 points, 15 rebounds. Good game for him.
And one of the guys he'll be matched up against, Pau Gasol. Pau, the leading scorer and rebounder for the Grizzlies, coming off his 14th double-double of the season against the Lakers on Sunday at Game 1, 102-82 by the Grizzlies. A veteran crew, all three officials with playoff experience. Callahan, Smith, and Sean Corbett. We are underway from FedEx Forum.
Once again, you see the Nuggets are going to that signature pick and roll. Didn't really get anything out of it, but they're trying to get it inside to their big people.
They start with a miss by Nene. One name only in his 3rd season out of Brazil. Nene, by the way, means baby.
He's hardly no baby. No, he's got a big body. He knows how to use it too.
6'11", 260. Shot clock is at 9 as Lorenzen Wright works to Jason. That's a 3, winning no. And the rebound taken by Marcus Camby. Camby, the leading rebounder for the Nuggets. He gets 10 a game. And in the first 2 meetings, Michael, Denver really dominated the backboards.
And that's something the Grizzlies certainly want to control tonight because possessions will be so important tonight.
Camby isolated, the step back over Gasol, and Marcus Camby, he has that kind of range and that kind of touch, averaging almost 15 a game over the last 3.
If there's any shots you want to see of Marcus Camby take consistently, that's the basket right there. Don't allow him to get to the basket and affect the game.
Gasol has it knocked away. DeMar Johnson, formerly of the Atlanta Hawks. Nene tips it, and Anthony banks it home.
Once again, you see him getting out fast on the transition break. We talked about that, folks. They are very good at that. And once again, Powell is going to understand that they're going to double team him. Be able to operate out of the double team. He's done a very good job so far of doing that.
And there's a deflection and a takeaway. Denver is 2nd in the league at forcing turnovers as Johnson flushes it. And the fast break going for Denver early and a 6-0 lead.
Well, right now, when you get 2 turnovers that quick in the game and they capitalize on them, you know right away, Pete, what your problem is. You're going to have to be careful. This team steals a lot of balls. They got 2 steals already.
Gasol, Camby gives him a little room. 7 to shoot, and Pau is fouled on his way to the rim.
You know, Pete, when you're the #1 team in the NBA in steals, this is one thing you don't want to do is allow them to steal the ball. And they do get out on the fast break. That is something they are looking to do. I guarantee you, with George Karl as the coach.
Well, their magic number on fast break points is 18. They're 29-4 when they have 18 or more. They're only 9-18 when they're under 18. So Gasol nearly lost it. 5 to shoot. Miller. Tapped by Battier. Gasol can't wrestle it away, and a loose ball foul will be called. This will be on Gasol. It will be his first. And the Grizzlies 0 for 2 to start, and the Nuggets are 3 for 4 and leading it by 6.
Well, right now the offensive execution is going to be very important for the Grizzlies to be patient. Don't allow that defense to continually upset you and throw you off balance offensively, as the Nuggets have been able to do here.
Nene has it knocked away, stolen by Battier. Grizzlies get the first Denver turnover of the night. Jason a 3 in transition. And the rebound, Andre Miller. And they're going to run again. Camby with the lob, nets up over and out.
But, you know, despite the turnover by Denver, they are feeding, once again, off of their fast break opportunities. That time, Pete, they weren't successful, but they did get out and had the numbers once again. So the Grizzlies are going to be conscious of that. They're going to have to really watch this team as they make a turnover, or they get on the defensive glass. They're going to have to get back down the floor and set up and build out their defense.
You saw George Karl a moment ago. This looks like the Doug Moe Nuggets, and he's an assistant coach. As Lorenzen has it blocked by Camby at the top, and Camby comes up with it. Great play by Camby, averaging almost 3 blocks a game. Miller to Carmelo in deep. He overlays. Lorenzen the rebound.
Just a remarkable block right there by Camby. I mean, as you saw Lorenzen Wright, I mean, he was basically had the ball in the basket. Somehow Camby was able to come up and make a sensational block.
Miller from outside puts it down. Mike Miller, 17th in the league in field goal percentage, just a little better than 50, puts the first one down, and the Grizzlies are within 4 at 6-2.
You know, Pete, when I played, as you see Carmelo Anthony get the ball inside and gets fouled by Shane Battier, You know, when you have shot blockers underneath, you have to pump fake them. I mean, these guys are very good. Marcus Camby is a very good shot blocker. I played with good shot blockers like Dikembe Mutombo. You know, you talk about a Hakeem Olajuwon. These guys have great timing like Marcus Camby.
Battier with the foul. Carmelo Anthony to the free throw line. The Nuggets have won 6 of their last 7 on the road, and that streak began when they beat the Grizzlies here at FedEx Forum in late February.
Anytime you win 10 out of 15 on the road, Pete, it's always good, especially late in the season when you got a young, team that was an underachiever early in the year. Right now they're overachieving, and they're peaking at the right time.
Jason drives, scoops, and scores. But look at Denver. Michael, they look a lot like Phoenix because they will run off makes as DeMar Johnson cranks up a 3.
And that's true. You know, you talk about Camby taking the ball out. He threw the ball to half court to Andre Miller to initiate the fast break.
Jason feeds Gasol. Yes! And the Grizzlies starting to find their offensive footing here within 2 at 8-6.
We talk about the offensive execution, being patient that time as Pau Gasol. He had to take that shot as he was wide open on the play.
Johnson trying to turn the corner on Mike Miller. Camby off the drive, blocked by Gasol. Nene on the pickup and the windmill slam.
You know, that's what he does for them. He's an inside player. He'll take what the defense give him. Injured for a large part of the year here. Didn't play the last time when he visited the FedEx Forum here.
Injured and missed the first game due to suspension. Williams is bumped by Nene and no call as Miller now feeds Lorenzen Wright. Grizzlies now 3 of their last 4. They had hit 3 straight. Miller off the drive, sets up Camby. And DeMar Johnson climbs the back. Offensive rebound for Denver.
Yeah, you talk about the foul that should have been called right there with Jay Will. You wonder if the officials, as Shane comes up with another steal here, if they're going to continue to let it play on both sides.
Grizzlies down 4. Lorenzen testing the middle. There's the pump fake, and the hook won't fall. Grizzlies can't get the tip to fall either. Grizzlies start 3 of 9. Nuggets are 4 of 9. Carmelo Anthony will pull up. And Gasol tracks down the rebound. Well, if you keep Denver on the perimeter, you're fine. It's when they get inside, it's problematic. And there's a foul against Nene. And he's actually going to argue.
He's lucky it's not his second foul.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the same identical play.
2 team fouls against Denver. 2 team fouls against the Grizzlies. Timeout taken by the Grizzlies. They trail it by 4. Pau Gasol hitting his first basket of the night. And the Grizzlies are down 4 early to the Nuggets. Looks like a track meet in progress. Midway through the first, Denver leading the Grizzlies 10-6. On Thursday, a special live presentation of the Best Damn Sports Show period. Former champ Riddick Big Daddy Bo goes back of the ring on a quest to reclaim his heavyweight crown. Plus 2004 gold medalist Andre Ward tries to remain undefeated as a professional. The Best Damn Boxing Championship period, Thursday at 7 Central only on FSN South. Miller against Johnson, going to take him off the dribble, get to the cup and lay it in.
We've talked about how important points in the paint. Once again, the Grizzlies are finding they can knife in and out of that tough frontline defense, spearheaded by Marcus Camby. Mike Miller right in there for the easy 2.
They can't block them all. Grizzlies are within 2. Denver 1 for their last 6. Camby off the drive, floats it in.
Nice move by Marcus Camby, taking it off the dribble. That was a tough shot. Came up 8 feet under and got the bank in.
Lorenzen Wright lost it to Andre Miller, and Miller saved on the baseline. And again, lots of long passing. Nene underneath. Battier nearly got it from behind, but Nene powers it in.
How fast is Denver getting that ball up the floor? I mean, that was a fast break point right there. They are looking to throw that ball as far as they can, whether it's coming off of a shot or a make.
Jason with a made 3. Jay Will 5 points Sunday against LA. 14-11. Grizzlies down 3. Nuggets coming off a Saturday night win at Denver, 103-97. as DeMar Johnson cranks up a three, and he responds. So the Nuggets with the edge in the paint, and that triple by Johnson, the first for the Nuggets. Back to a 6-point advantage as Gasol works against Camby. Anthony comes to double, and a foul on the pass off. This one called on Carmelo Anthony. For Anthony, his first, and the team's third.
You know how tough that front line is, but folks, you can't get the ball inside. You just have to be persistent, as Mike Miller is right here, going in for the easy two.
Nene goes out of the ball game as you look at Mike Miller, and Kenyon Martin is in for the first time tonight. Brian Cardinal comes in for Gasol. Jay Will against Johnson. Long two, got it. Jason Williams beginning to feel it. 3 for 5 on the night. Grizzlies within 4 at 17-13. Anthony to the spin. Battier picked his pocket. It is out of bounds, but it will stay with Denver. 14 on the shot clock.
We talked about that matchup before the game. Once again, just coming up with the strip and almost able to come up with it. As you see the great hustle here by Jay Will. Hey, getting on the floor for the ball. This is playoff action here, folks.
Final 10 games for both teams. And at this point, every game, in essence, is a playoff game. And Carmelo Anthony hits the fadeaway over Battier. Carmelo with 6, 2 of 4 from the floor, and he's made the only free throws for either side. And Carmelo Anthony, his second foul.
And we talked about how important it was to go at him, to make an offensive player play defense. That time, Carmelo getting a little bit too aggressive as he grabs hold of Shane and gets his second foul. Now he's out of the game.
So he will come out, and Wesley Person, in his 11th season out of Auburn, spent 1 season plus with Memphis. 17 on the shot clock, and Denver is out of fouls to give. They have 14 fouls. Grizzlies with 2, and there's the 5th. DeMar Johnson fouls Battier, so Shane will get to the free throw line.
And the Grizzlies are doing just what they need to do, Pete. They're trying to get the ball inside. They're not settling for the outside shots right now. And as a result of it, they're in the penalty with 4 minutes to go here in this first quarter.
Well, the other thing, too, that long shots will do, they can help fuel the fast break for Denver, because long shots will yield long rebounds as Battier puts the first one down. Gives us an opportunity to remind you that a $250 deposit on next year's season tickets will guarantee your seat when the Grizzlies play on. You'll get playoff priority now and 45 games of hustle at fabulous new FedEx Forum next season. Battier with a make and a miss. 19-14. Those the first free throws shot by the Grizzlies tonight. Grizzlies backcourt getting it done. They have 11 of the first 14 points for Memphis. Andre Miller trying to break down Jay Will. Person for 3, and it is through. This was the worst three-point shooting team in the league until Wesley Person arrives.
Well, you know, that's all they want from him. I mean, all he has to do is step up and make the shot, and he can certainly do that.
Lorenzen deep catch against Camby, powers it in. Lorenzen, his first bucket of the night. He's got 2, so all 5 Grizzlies starters have scored. Denver has made 5 straight shots. The Grizzlies have made their last 4, and Kenyon Martin with a rim rattler and a slap of the glass.
You know, when you have shooters out there, as you saw Wesley Person just pass the ball over to Kenyon Martin, that's what happens. You know, he sets you up for him taking the shot, and all of a sudden he finds an open Kenyon Martin for the monster jam.
Denver, their largest lead of the night. Lorenzen in and out. Andre Miller with a rebound. Miller on a push. Tough pass. Martin in traffic. Camby the offensive rebound. No. And here come the Grizzlies. Lorenzen cleans up the miss. Jason pulls up and hits. Jason Williams already with 9. Knocked to the floor by Camby up the other way. 2:35 to play.
Right now, the Grizzlies want to slow this pace down right now.
Johnson with a lob, and Kenyon Martin came up short. I've never seen a team that runs as many alley-oop plays as Denver does. Foul on the play, and free throws coming for the Denver Nuggets. Camby and the Nuggets Jason Williams goes down. Grizzlies are down 6, 24-18. Grizzlies within 6. Jason Williams averages more than 10. He's got 9.
Well, right now they're packing it in the paint. They don't want a Pau Gasol to get going inside, so Jay Will can get these kind of shots. And he's playing smart basketball right now. Hey, if you're going to pull off of me and double on Pau, I got to make you pay the price for it. And that's just what he's doing. Right here, Denver is still packing it in, looking out at the side of their eyes for a Pau Gasol. Jay Will pops to Jay from the outside.
Jason, the leading scorer, with 9. He'll take a rest, and Earl Watson comes in, and now a big-time defensive challenge for Earl as Earl Boykins comes in the ballgame, and Andre Miller sits down.
You know, as Kenyon Martin, you look at him right here. I mean, he's a big-time player. Or Earl Boykins right there. I thought he had a really big game the last game. But Kenyon Martin, you know, he plays so physical inside. He plays with such passion and energy, and you have to match that. I mean, he's a very acrobatic, very creative player inside. He likes to dunk and put an exclamation on it, slap the back of the basketball, you know, or the backboard. You have to address that. You have to play along with that and not let him psych you out.
There you see the numbers for Martin, second leading scorer for the Nuggets. Missed the last handful of games with a chest contusion. Didn't get to start tonight. Comes off the bench and puts in 2 free throws. We are at FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee, and the Denver Nuggets equaling their largest lead of the night over the Memphis Grizzlies, 26-18, with Michael Cage. I'm Pete Pranica. Battier can't enter it to Cardinal. Miller against Andre Miller, and Mike gets to the rim.
Great job by the Grizzlies of being patient on the offense. I thought it should have been a defensive 3-second call, as there were several players for the Nuggets just hanging out and guarding no one.
Andre Miller remains in the ball game, so they go with essentially 2 point guards. And DeMar Johnson goes out. Kenyon Martin off the back iron, and tip rebound taken by Earl Watson.
Grizzlies doing a great job of keeping the front line of the Denver Nuggets off the glass. They are certainly trying to attack the offensive glass, but the Grizzlies are putting a body between them.
Grizzlies have made 6 of their last 7, make it 7 of 8 on the flush by Battier. Good delivery by Earl Watson to set it up. Grizzlies are within 4.
Although the Grizzlies may not have a Pau Gasol inside, they have Shane Battier, who has the same type of effect.
Boykins averaging 22 a game against the Grizzlies this season. Andre Miller against Earl Watson. Size mismatch. Miller barrels people over and feeds Camby for the easy one.
Andre Miller made a really nice move to the basket, got hammered on the play by Brian Cardinal, but still was able to find Camby for the easy 2.
28-22. Camby with 6 and 4 rebounds early. Final minute of the first quarter. Earl off the penetration. Lorenzen reverses it. He'll get 2 free throws. Camby the foul.
I really like what I'm seeing here, Pete. They're passing the ball. They're making Denver move. How do you get shot blockers to move? Folks, let's show you. You move the ball around the horn. As the ball is much faster than the individual, the Grizzlies are showing that as Shane Battier is on the receiving end of that great passing by the Grizzlies.
Foul on Camby is his second, so he and Carmelo Anthony with 2 apiece. As Ren puts the first free throw down, and we'll get our first look at Eduardo Najera. He's in for Marcus Camby, and Najera, this is one of the deals that Kiki Vandeweghe made along with the Wesley Person deal that on the surface didn't look like much when they were consummated, but in hindsight they're looking like great moves by Vandeweghe. Najera really had been forgotten and left behind on the Golden State bench for reasons that really are still not clear, but he's done a nice job since coming over.
Well, you got to know that they want that depth in their bench, and that's just what they got in a Najera right there. You got to know that George Karl, Kiki Vandeweghe, GM, as you mentioned, he's trying to get these type of players in before the trading deadline. He came up what I thought is a steal here.
Earl Watson called for the foul, a non-shooter. Shot clock reset to 14. That's the last foul the Grizzlies have to give.
And that's really great, Pete, as they have not put the Nuggets on the line for any easy points, you know, notwithstanding the fast break points that they've been able to get.
Andre Miller, 6th season out of Utah, gets the screen from Najera. Miller bullying his way against Miller. He scoops, doesn't score, a long rebound. Earl picks it up. 2 clocks are nearly synchronized, and Mike Fratello is going to call for 1 shot here. Denver with a 4-point advantage. Denver is out of fouls to give. Watson gets the screen. BC for three. Got his own rebound. Tipped. And Martin takes it, and that will do it. Grizzlies close on an 8-4 run. They are within 4 of the Denver Nuggets. Jason Williams leads all scores. He has 9 so far tonight. 9 points, plenty of hustle. Welcome back to the house at Hustleville. We'll be back in a moment. Grizzlies down 4 to the Nuggets. Welcome back to Memphis Grizzlies basketball on FSN South. We are at fabulous new FedEx Forum on Beale Street in downtown Memphis. I'm Pete Pranica, Michael Cage alongside. 1 quarter in the books in Memphis. And the coach of the Memphis Tigers, John Calipari, in the building to watch Marcus Camby, his former pupil at UMass.
Yeah, that's amazing that Cal, he had a really good year this year, almost getting to the NIT finals. He coached me for a season in New Jersey. He actually went to the playoffs that year and played the Chicago Bulls, which turned out to be Michael Jordan's last championship year.
Antonio Birch on the Grizzlies bench, also coached by Calipari. Cardinal high-low to Lorenzen. Beautifully done as the Grizzlies pull within 2.
Well, obviously the Grizzlies are realizing now, Pete, when they pass the ball around the horn, they get results.
Boykins out there with Miller, Martin, Person, and Nahara. Earl with the takeaway. Grizzlies look for the tie with the lead with a long one. Earl's leaner is in, and we are tied at 28. Earl Watson, averaging 8 a game, is on the board for the first time tonight.
Well, the Grizzlies, once again, their hands are active defensively. Bodies are getting into the flow. They're realizing this is playoff action right here.
Boykins is able to turn the corner. Person against Bonzi Wells. They were traded for one another. Andre Miller, the drive. Boykins got Wells in the air. 2 on the shot clock. Rebound by Cardinal. A one-hander. He took it away from Nahara.
The Grizzlies are doing a much better job tonight, Peter, protecting the defensive glass.
Grizzlies a 12-4 run. And Brian Cardinal, a bad pass, stolen by Kenyon Martin. Boykins leans against Earl. Can't put it down. Bonzi Wells with a rebound.
Well, that time they passed a little bit too much. Overpassing sometimes can be a problem, but not a bad problem for the Grizzlies. Brian probably should have taken that shot.
Earl Watson has Nahara run at him. Cardinal is bumped by Boykins on the pass-off. That'll be Boykins' first foul.
You talk about how important passing is against a really good defensive team. Pete, watch this right here as Mike Miller passes the ball over to Brian Cardinal, who immediately finds an open Lorenzen Wright. I mean, how big is that psychologically for the Grizzlies to get those easy baskets on a tough interior defensive Denver Nuggets team?
Carmelo Anthony comes in. Cardinal, 3 to shoot. Bonzi's open from the corner. Gasol is back in, and Carmelo Anthony with a box out. Boykins, lob for Kenyon Martin. Blocked by Gasol, and a foul called by Mike Callahan.
Tough call once again. You hope they let him play tonight. Seems like the officials are calling the real close, tight stuff right now. I mean, I just don't like to see that, Pete, because this is such a good game right now. It's a great playoff game, a lot of energy, a lot of good things being done right here.
And so Gasol joins Anthony and Camby with 2 personal fouls. Martin back to the free throw line. Kenyon Martin, 63% from the free throw line, 19 double-doubles. But, Michael, what's interesting, they're 9-2 in the 11 games that he has missed due to injury.
Yeah,
that strikes me as being a little odd.
That lets you know how much depth this team has, Pete. I mean, they have a very strong, very capable bench. You mentioned Eduardo Nahara coming over from Golden State. What a jewel of a trade that was.
And Martin, rock solid from the free throw line. He's got 6.
You talk about Kenyon Martin coming over from the Nets. That was a big money deal they gave him. Is it really there yet? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Grizzlies down 2. Cardinal has Boykins on him as Denver gives a little bit of his own look. And Earl draws the foul from Wesley Person. First foul on Person, second foul on Denver, and it will put Earl Watson at the line.
What I really like, Pete, is that they got the shot off and being aware of the shot clock. And at the same time, a lot of their shots are going toward the basket. It's so very important as we talk about that, folks, during the broadcast. You want to see the Grizzlies going toward the basket as Earl Watson makes the first of two instead of just sitting back and taking a jump shot. I think most teams will give you the jump shot. You saw Jay Will there just a minute ago, folks, on your screen. He took those shots as a result of the Nuggets packing it in the paint.
Earl with 2 free throws ties us at 30. Denver has missed 6 of its last 7. Well, you talk about the recognition on the part of the Grizzlies. It reverberates with what Brian Cardinal said in the pregame show as Nahara gets free inside but can't put it down. Earl Watson with a running rebound. 3-on-1. Earl to Miller. And nearly a three-point opportunity. Now the Grizzlies had trouble finishing at the rim Sunday against Los Angeles. Nahara the foul. It puts Miller on the line for 2.
You've got to love the action, though, once again, tipping the ball out, not allowing them to get on the offensive glass. Earl Watson coming up with the long rebound. That's going to be important tonight. And then passing it over to the open Mike Miller, who gets fouled by Nahara. I mean, I really like the flow of this game. Remember I mentioned earlier, folks, about if you're just now joining us, in the first quarter I mentioned I didn't like the flow of the game. It was just too fast for the Grizzlies as you see Kenyon Martin goes out of the game. Now the Grizzlies are controlling the tempo right now. And that's why they're currently nursing a 1-point lead.
It is the first Grizzlies lead tonight. Brian Russell is in, so let's reset the lineups. It's Anthony Nene, Boykins, Nahara, and Brian Russell for Denver. Mike Miller, 2 free throws there. He's on the floor with Cardinal, Watson, Wells, and Pau Gasol. That's the 5 for the Grizzlies, who have their first lead of the night at 32-30. Grizzlies trailed by 8 early as Denver threatened to turn this into a track meet. Anthony with the deep 2.
There's a pick and roll we talked about that time between Boykins and Carmelo Anthony fading out, getting an easy shot. That's going to be a big play for them.
Scrambling defense by Denver. They tried to trap Watson. Wells cutting back door for the flush.
You know what I'm really starting to like, Pete, is just how really Brian Cardinal's into finding the opening. That time pump fake. You saw Wells back up and then go back for the back door again. Brian stayed right with him and got him the ball.
Anthony, same spot, same result. Carmelo Anthony was shooting just 39% before the arrival of George Karl. Since then, he's 45.5%. Anthony, the first player either side in double digits, with 10. And an offensive foul called on Bonzi Wells. 8:20 remaining, an official's timeout. Wells the offensive foul. It's the 5th Grizzlies turnover. Brian Cardinal serving up a tasty dish. Grizzlies and Nuggets tied at 34.
Are you ready? Wow! Go! Wow! Are you ready? I can't do this. No! No way! Not even for some Bud Light?
Bud Light, fresh, smooth, real.
See you, dude! Wait!
It's all here.
There's something evil in my house.
On April 15th, the windows are the eyes to its soul. The Amityville Horror, directed by Andrew Douglas, rated R, starts Friday, April 15th.
It's a new era in the AFL. The Cats are back. The Nashville Cats have returned and are once again set to run head-on into the league. The Cats battle the Desperados Friday at 8:30. Friday on Countdown to Signing Day. It's a conference breakdown. We'll highlight All-American C.J. Miles and Julian Wright, who are looking to make some noise in the Big 12. Friday at 6:30 on FSN South.
8:20 remaining in the first quarter. Denver and Memphis tied at 34. Carmelo Anthony starting to get going offensively because Denver, Michael, going to the pick and roll.
Well, if you freeze the tape right here, this is what Muss was talking about. You see the pick and roll starting to happen as we continue right here. Carmelo's just sitting. He doesn't really want to set a big pick. He just wants you to switch. And when you switch, he pops out. He gets the mismatch. He stands right there and gets the open J. That's the play that Eric Musselman is talking about, that the Grizzlies, they want to really make sure they cover tonight because Carmelo Anthony gets a lot of shots off that play.
Yeah, not really a pick and roll so much as a pick and pop. Russell loses the ball. Cardinal with the steal. Grizzlies look to run. Wells going to challenge Nahara. Tried to bring it to Gasol. Nene intercepted but lost it out of bounds.
Once again, the active defensive hands of the Memphis Grizzlies are making things happen. You saw Bonzi Wells comes up and coughs up the turnover off of Brian Russell right there. It creates opportunities for them.
18 on the shot clock for the Grizzlies. Watson triggers. Powell has taken only one shot tonight. He made it. And 3 rebounds for Gasol. Powell on the repost against Nene. Do a cutting Earl Watson, but did not have a good angle. Boykins. Russell wanted a 3. That's been his specialty shot as of late.
That was a great closeout on Bonzi Wells once again.
And now Russell will take the 3, and Cardinal is there for the rebound. Knocked down, bodies everywhere, no call. Wells tries to lob for Gasol, and it's too far. 6th Grizzlies turnover.
You know, you got to love what the Grizzlies are doing here. They're denying them just one opportunity on the basket, but the hustle right here. I mean, look at this. There are bodies flying all over the place as Carmelo Anthony goes down in pain.
We're getting close to the playoffs, folks. 34-34. Two teams tied at 41 and 31 in the Western Conference. Anthony moves to the right side, and he's hit 3 straight. 4 straight make it. A dozen on the night for Carmelo Anthony. He averages 20 a game.
He's a great face-up shooter. He's got the height. He's got the elevation to get that shot off.
Wells wants it against Anthony, and the Grizzlies lose it out of bounds because Carmelo is draped all over Bonzi Wells. And Bonzi couldn't get free. Mike Callahan says play on. Denver the 2-point lead at 36-34.
This game has gotten pretty physical here in the last couple of trips down the floor, folks.
This is Nahara against Cardinal. Nahara open for a moment. Anthony going for 5 in a row. And Carmelo Anthony, who was very upset at the end of the last meeting between these two teams because George Karl benched him late in the 4th, is lighting up the Grizzlies right now for 14. Nuggets by 4. Wells looking to drive it. Blocking foul. 2 free throws coming. Foul on Brian Russell.
Well, once again, the Grizzlies are starting to play smart. I mean, they're not starting to, folks. They've been playing smart the whole game here. Just simply attacking the basket. You know you don't have a real big shot blocker in a Marcus Camby. Bonzi Wells not settling for the jump shot once again and attacking the basket. Now he gets 2 trips to the free throw line.
Bonzi with a make. Kroger presents the Year of the Uniform. The final giveaway of the season is Sunday when the Grizzlies take on the Charlotte Bobcats. The first 3,000 kids will receive these Grizzlies shorts. If you missed out on any items, you can visit Kroger's to complete your set. But we want you to be here at FedEx Forum on Sunday. Grizzlies taking on the Bobcats. 901-888-HOOP, Grizzlies.com. Ticketmaster for tickets. Be here. Be part of the thrill at FedEx Forum. Free throws by Wells. Denver's lead cut to 2 as Boykins knifes inside and draws the foul. He will go to the free throw line. Foul called on Brian Cardinal.
Smart play by Earl Boykins, realizing he couldn't get the shot up over a Brian Cardinal. I mean, being at probably 5'7", Pete, and some change.
He's listed as 5'5", so.
Okay, so 5'5", and you know, just driving right into Brian Cardinal, drawing the foul.
And Boykins, one of the leading free throw shooters in the league. He is second, in fact, at 93%.
You won't see him miss very many, folks.
Averages 12.6 against the league, but he averages 22 against the Grizzlies.
A little man with a big heart. Always plays big when he's out there on the floor.
Oh, and he misses 2 free throws.
That's after the great build-up by me, huh?
Well, you jinxed him. because Boykins 19 for 20 in the 2 games between the 2 teams from the free throw line. A deflection and a takeaway. Anthony to Brian Russell, lost it out of bounds. Grizzlies ball with 6:01 remaining.
Right now, the Grizzlies are getting some good things started defensively, Pete. But on the other end, offensively, these are becoming wasted opportunities for them to score. They're going to have to clean that up because Denver now is going through a slow period. They're having a little lull offensively right now, besides a Carmelo Anthony.
Battier brings it to Gasol. Wells on the base. The pull-up is in. Bonzi Wells over the last 4 averaging 17.5 a game. He's got 6 tonight, and we're tied at 38. Bonzi Wells is going to take his turn checking Carmelo Anthony. It's a good entry pass to Nene, but he can't finish. Rebound, Battier.
Great defense by Powell just to hold his hand straight up, indicate to the officials, I'm not fouling right here.
Wells, not this time. Gasol captures the rebound. Fresh shot clock for the Grizzlies. Wells against Carmelo out of the double team, threw it right to Earl Boykins. Boykins with a wild layup and a loose ball foul on Denver. And Denver is over the foul limit.
You've got to give credit to Brian Cardinals, folks, on that play right there. That is great defense, not allowing him to draw another foul. The smallest man on the floor.
Grizzlies and Nuggets locked up in a good one. We're tied at 38. Welcome back to Memphis. Grizzlies and Nuggets locked up at 38. 5:02 remaining in the second quarter. Stay tuned to FSN South for Braves baseball as you catch the Braves right here on FSN South. They'll take on the Florida Marlins Wednesday at 5:30. Tomorrow, 5:30, set your VCR or your TiVo, or just make an appointment to be in front of the television. Turnover numbers, this is the one thing, Michael, the Grizzlies have not excelled in tonight. 9 turns, and off those turnovers, they have lost 10 points.
So you talk about, that's a plus 10 for Denver right there. You clean that up, all of a sudden you increase the lead that you have, as well as not allowing Denver to get on the offensive glass. That's been very big here, folks, for the Grizzlies in the first half thus far.
Grizzlies out rebounding the Nuggets 16-13, and 2 offensive rebounds aside. Andre Miller is in, working against Earl Watson. Grizzlies doing a good job of keeping him on the perimeter. Gasol with a knockaway. Grizzlies get the 6th turnover on Denver. Earl is showing go to the rim and in. Oh, what a play by Earl. Grizzlies a 4-point lead, their largest.
Once again, they're capitalizing off the turnovers. They weren't able to do that the last 3 or 4 trips down. How big was that play? That play is huge for them right now, folks.
Grizzlies have scored 8 straight. Carmelo has been the main offensive weapon for Denver. This time to the baseline and an offensive foul. Carmelo Anthony has picked up his 3rd.
You talk about when you force a team into turnovers, you want to continue to build on that. The Grizzlies are getting turnovers right here, going coast to coast from the post. There's Earl Watson right in post, making a quick pass and then putting it in.
Earl Watson with 6. Wesley Person comes in, and Carmelo Anthony will sit down. DeMar Johnson is in. Kenyon Martin is in.
Once again, he's forcing George Karl to go to his bench again.
Camby likewise comes in. Gasol with 10 to shoot. Cardinal reverses it, but it dances out. Denver scoreless their last 6 trips. Under 4 to play. Martin has it knocked away. Ball to the floor. Camby comes up with it.
Great hustle. Earl Watson getting on the floor, getting up quickly to get back in defensive position.
Camby on the back down, steps through, misses the tip. Battier the rebound.
How about the hustle by all of the Grizzlies around Marcus Camby to not allow him to get his own second shot?
Shane's open. Rebound, Kenyon Martin.
You know, he had to take that shot anytime you're that wide open, folks. You have to take it.
Wells with the block. DeMar Johnson had it stripped. Earl Watson jousts with Miller.
Powell, good job throwing the ball back out to reset so he can make his move. Miller won't allow him to.
Earl for three, it's through!
And that's just what you do. Andre Miller was sitting right on top of Powell. Folks, you would probably say, Powell, make your move. He couldn't because Andre was sitting right on top of him. Earl Watson saw that, took the open three, and made it. That's good basketball, folks.
An 11-0 run. Earl Watson with 9. And the Grizzlies have forced 7 turnovers from the Denver Nuggets and cashed them into 6 points. Grizzlies by 7, their largest lead. Grizzlies their largest lead of the night over the Denver Nuggets at 45-38. Earl Watson striking for 9.
But once again, coming in, that bench points are so important tonight as the Grizzlies have a 17-9 edge spearheaded by Earl Watson here. He's just simply playing basketball, folks, taking what the defense gives you. Running the fast break, orchestrating it right there. Then you look at right here, just lining up for the 3-ball as Andre Miller was sitting on top of Pau Gasol, which didn't allow him to make his move.
Earl sits down. Jason Williams is in. 2:45 remaining. An 11-0 Grizzlies run. Denver scoreless their last 8 trips down the floor. Deflection by Wells. And the Grizzlies, Michael, doing a much better job. They've picked up their defensive intensity since the first moments of play.
They sure have. And you got to like what they're doing off that pick and roll. I really like what happened on that action right there. As you take a good look at George Karl. I mean, he's ever so calm, cool, and collected.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson lobs to Canby. It's about the only play that you could run with 2 on the shot clock. And the Nuggets within 5 at 45-40.
Well, obviously it was a defensive breakdown, but one of the very few times here for the Grizzlies.
Wells. Yes! No, they're going to take it away with an offensive foul. That is a huge call because it would have been 3 on Canby. Let's take another look.
Great drive by Bonzi once again here.
Can't quite see his feet on the replay.
Well, it looks like he lined himself up. What I was questioning is whether or not he got there in time.
We are at FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Grizzlies up 5 over the Denver Nuggets with Michael Cage on Pete Pranica. You're watching the Grizzlies on FSN South. And Miller puts in the jumper. And the Grizzlies lead is trimmed to 3. Grizzlies have turned it over 7 times in the quarter. That's been the only thing that has been harming them here in the second. Other than that, they've been strong. Battier drives to the baseline, tries to feed Gasol, and they're going to say that Shane was out of bounds and then came back in, and the Grizzlies turn it over for the 11th time tonight. And they have done a good job, Michael, over the last 3 games, cutting the turnovers down. The last 3 games, Grizzlies were averaging a little more than 13 a game in terms of turnovers. They have 11 tonight.
And a lot of those turnovers are not bad turnovers. They've come as a result of them trying to pass the basketball. At times they've overpassed.
Miller got all the way to the front of the rim, turned the corner. And now Denver with a 6-0 run following on the heels of an 11-0 run by the Grizzlies. Memphis calls timeout. 1:23 remaining in the first half. And a 20-second timeout called by the Grizzlies.
We've talked about the pick and roll and how to defend that, and you certainly want to be able to guard that consistently throughout the game because that's how the Nuggets are getting their offense going right here. Look at this. This is the correct way to guard it. We can freeze the tape right here, folks. I mean, everybody's in position. Here comes a pick guy, and as it continues, the play develops. You got one guy here throwing it back over. Kenyon Martin steps out. They defend. Powell gets back. Andre Miller has nowhere to go. Bonzi tipped the ball out of bounds. That is the play that they worked on earlier today, and that's what they want to continue to do. That's what Eric Musselman talked about in the pregame about how to defend that. He said that was a concern of his. Right now, they're doing a very good job.
Don't forget the final Kroger Year of the Uniform giveaway Sunday as the Grizzlies take on the Charlotte Bobcats. First 3,000 kids get the Grizzlies shorts, and if you missed out on any items, you can go to Kroger's, but best to get it here. First 3,000 can get it free. 888-HOOP, Grizzlies.com. Gasol got it to fall.
That time they chose not to double team, and Powell smartly put the ball on the floor and went up with the left hand. It's always good. The team score coming out of a timeout. The coach draws up a play, and he gets a score.
There's another pick and roll. Kenyon Martin sets it, and Miller puts it down. Powell came out to challenge, but Andre Miller, who averages 13.5, has 6.
That's just what they want you to do. They want you to switch. That time, Andre Miller stepped out and shot the jumper.
Cardinal hammered underneath. It's out of bounds. Grizzlies have it with 14 on the shot clock. Nahara will come in. Camby will sit down to prevent him from picking up a third personal foul. .5 remaining. 14 on the shot clock for Memphis.
What Grizzlies want to do, they certainly want to try to make this a 2-possession game right now here with just 44 seconds. Try to get your shot off before you get down to the 24 seconds, which gives you enough time to get another shot.
Gasol was double teamed. Miller knocked it out of his hands.
But with 5 seconds left on the clock, they're certainly going to have to look to get a hurried shot off here, as Denver is playing pretty good defense here in the last couple of minutes.
That's deflected by Kenyon Martin, so the Grizzlies keep. A second comes off the clock. Battier will throw in. 4 on the shot clock, 34.4 for the half. Wells. Gasol, the offensive rebound, and he's hit by Kenyon Martin. 2 free throws coming for Pau Gasol.
The Grizzlies are finding that they can do the same thing that Denver does to a lot of teams, attack the offensive glass. They're doing just that. Powell hanging around the basket, didn't bail out on the play, stayed inside. Ball came right to him, was able to get fouled, and now the Grizzlies get an opportunity to increase this lead here.
Grizzlies out rebounding Denver 20-15. Remember, in the first 2 games, as Gasol misses the first free throw, remember that rebounding was a major problem. In the first 2 games, Denver averaging 49.5 rebounds, the Grizzlies 33. Earl Watson will come back in the ball game for the Grizzlies. He'll replace Bonzi Wells.
He's bringing Earl Watson back in for defensive purposes, as George Karl just subbed Earl Boykins to bring in some fast offense for the Nuggets. A little bit of a chess move there by Mike Fratello.
Gasol makes it a 2-point game at 48-46. About 3.5 difference between the 2 clocks, game clock to shot clock. Denver led it by as many as 8 early. Grizzlies responded with an 11-0 run to take a 7-point advantage.
There's a high pick and roll where you see Eduardo Nahara roll to the basket. Here comes a second pick and roll.
Martin gets inside but misses. The last 16 points had come from Denver's backcourt. Cardinal, a 3, bingo! With 1.4. Andre Miller. Cardinal puts down the triple, giving him 5 for the half, and the Grizzlies a 5-point lead heading to the locker room. Grizzlies close on a 15-8 run. So they weather a little storm from the Nuggets, and they have the lead at halftime. It's 51-46, Grizzlies over the Nuggets. Grizzlies shooting 53%. Back with halftime in a moment. Halfway through at FedEx Forum, the Grizzlies leading the Denver Nuggets 51-46. Both teams tied on the season, 41-31 records. They are identical, and both of them trying to get a leg up in the Western Conference playoff race. Grizzlies shoot 53% in the first half, and the Nuggets shoot almost 49% for the first half. For more, we visit with Michael Cage and Eric Musselman.
Let's talk about the first half. You did a lot of good things, shot the ball well, rebounded well.
You know, the big key was they started reacting to loose balls in the first 6 minutes of the game. Our bench did a phenomenal job. Earl Watson got us extra possessions off loose balls, and he played phenomenal defense on Earl Boykins, who's hurt us in the first 2 games, and Earl shut him out in that second quarter. So we need to continue to do a number on him, do a little bit better job on Carmelo Anthony. His jab step jump shot, we need to crowd him and make him put the ball on the floor.
Coach, thank you for being with us, and good luck in the second half.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it.
Always a thorough scouting report from Eric Musselman. Well, there you look at the leading scorers for the Grizzlies. The 2 point guards have done a great job. Both Jason and Earl finding the range from outside. Earl and Jason bookended with 9 apiece, and a total of 3 assists from those 2 gentlemen. Mike Miller with 8, Lorenzen Wright with 6. Gasol and Cardinal, on the strength of that late 3, has 5. For the Nuggets, Carmelo Anthony is the only Nugget in double figures. He has 14. Marcus Camby with 8, Miller 6, and Kenyon Martin likewise with 6. Grizzlies going to try and reassert themselves here at the top of the third. Remember the last time these two teams met back in February, Grizzlies led it by 9 heading into the fourth, and Gasol backs down and flips in a hook.
That's on showing patience, Pete, on offense right there. The double team didn't come. Powell kept going in the lane for the nice little jump hook.
Gasol is a perfect 3 for 3, 7 points, 6 rebounds for Gasol. Andre Miller's leaner is in. Andre Miller and Carmelo Anthony have scored the last 18 points for Denver.
You know, he's coming into his own under George Karl, averaging over 13 points a game right there. You see him just getting in the paint.
Lob for Gasol. So Gasol with a couple of points, a couple of buckets in the paint. And the Grizzlies equal their largest lead of the night, 55-48.
Well, that's something we haven't seen in a long time from Pau Gasol, getting up for the alley-oop.
And Miller turned into a one-on-one battle here. Is Andre Miller now in double digits? He has 10.
That's their signature play right there, getting off the pick and roll. Andre came off a little bit open, took the shot.
Gasol against Camby. Jason for 3. Rebound and Nene. Andre Miller has scored the last 10 for Denver. And that followed a long run by Anthony. Camby will try and break the string. And Marcus Camby, the jump shot doesn't look like much, but he shoots 46.5%. And Denver's within 3.
It reminds me of the old Jamal Wilkes, who I played with the Los Angeles Clippers when he had a long, illustrious career with the Lakers.
Gasol, high-low, Lorenzen, blocked by Nene. Lorenzen stays with it, Battier gets it.
Smart play by Lorenzen that time. Got his shot blocked. Folks was able to recover it, knowing that there was 2 defenders around, and pass it out to Shane Battier. Andre
Miller dominating the basketball right now, and why not? They get it to Anthony, and he hooks it in. Lorenzen Wright was right in his face. Carmelo Anthony leads all scorers with 16.
You know, he's got a nice all-around game. That time showing you the inside play right there, being able to get creative with the shot once he sees a shot blocker comes over.
Gasol, Miller on the double team. You got a whistle and offensive, illegal screen set by Lorenzen Wright.
I thought he did a good job of running through it, as you see here on this play right here, folks. J. Will setting up Pau Gasol. You know, it's so important to get those easy baskets over Marcus Camby, who's a great shot blocker. You get him up on his toes a little bit.
They get the switch on the pick and roll. Nene is open. Miller with the rebound. Grizzlies nursing a 3-point lead. Battier trying to post up, forces his way inside, lost it. Gasol got it back. Pau Gasol has come alive here in the third.
A lot of contact inside. The Grizzlies being able to play around that, coming up with the loose balls.
Miller on the back down, the fadeaway, in and out, and team rebounding. That's what the Grizzlies did so well Sunday against the Lakers, a game in which they had a huge rebounding advantage.
Just a great job so far in this complete game. Here, they're just not allowing them second shots. As Mike Miller comes off the screen for a nice, another 2-pointer.
Foot on the line, 61-54. Jason got the steal. Jay Will, the third Grizzly in double figures. He has 11. George Karl has seen enough. Memphis, its largest lead of the night. It's 63-54. They are on their feet in the house at Hustle-Built. Grizzlies, their largest lead of the night, 63-54. Mike Miller over the last couple games shooting 50%. He's even better than that tonight, 4 for 5.
Watch Mike Miller right here, folks. You see him. He's right there behind Camby there as he comes outside for the screen from Lorenzen Wright. Double pick, open shot right there. Confused Denver. Denver didn't know what to do on that play. You certainly want to continue to exploit them as you get their big people away from the basket. Eric Musselman talked about it in the pregame, folks, about how important it is to get their big men away from the basket so they can't block shots.
Grizzlies with the run. Denver Nuggets over the last 10 games averaging 113 points a game. Canby. And that one dances in. Canby 5 of 9 from the floor. He's got a dozen. 3 Nuggets in double figures, 3 Grizzlies in double figures, and the Memphis lead is 7.
Well, the Grizzlies can live with that kind of shot. You see Mike Miller comes out yet another screen.
And Mike Miller has got it going now. 65-56. Miller 5 for 6. Jay Will is 5 for 8. Your starting backcourt 10 for 14 and 23 points. Carmelo Anthony with the fadeaway. Boy, Denver can't miss either. Grizzlies are at 58%. Denver is at 53%. We're at FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Grizzlies leading the Nuggets by 7 with Michael Cage on Pete Pranica. Jason passed on the 3. Lorenzen faces up. And a foul. It's called on Andre Miller. That is his first, and the first Denver foul here in the third quarter.
I liked how Lorenzen showed a little patience right there. Didn't take the jump shot, got to the basket, tried to get to the basket, and was fouled.
Shane on the back down. Canby on the double team, gets pushed out of bounds, and Mike Callahan is forced to call a foul. And Canby, that's not going to be on Canby. They're going to call it on Nene. 14 on the shot clock, non-shooting fouls is Mike Callahan.
And that's what you want to do, Pete, against shot blockers. You don't want to take the first shot you get when they're right up on you. You pump fake them, you get them in the air, and you get the foul on them.
Carmelo Anthony and Battier come together, and the foul will go on Carmelo, and that will be his 4th.
We talked about how important it is to make a scorer play defense, because that's the one thing a scorer does not want to do. Shane Battier is making Carmelo Anthony work on defense, and he is getting fouls.
And what's interesting, since George Karl came on board, Carmelo Anthony wasn't making bad plays like this. He was playing within himself.
And that's certainly something you don't. That's a very good point you make, Pete. You don't want to have a Carmelo Anthony making a foul that far away from the basket before his man even gets the ball.
Earl Boykins comes in, and Anthony sits down with 4 fouls, 18 points, the game-high score. Grizzlies by 7. And Jason gets it to Mike. Desperation 3 off the side of the board. And Boykins on a run-out. He's going to feed Kenyon Martin.
Well, that time the Grizzlies did not have anybody back to cover, you know, the leak out that time. It was Earl Boykins that everybody was still, you know, in the front court.
It's been a while since we've seen the Denver fast break. Gasol tried to hit Battier, but it's deflected by Denver. Grizzlies keep 13 on the shot clock. Memphis with a 5-point lead.
I like what Powell's doing. He's showing a little patience. He's not trying to make his move right away. He tried it a couple of times in the first quarter. They were able to come up with the steal.
Gasol over Canby. Not that time. Lorenzen tips, and the offensive rebound. Miller, an open look from 3. Maybe 2 open. Rebound taken by Kenyon Martin, his 3rd. Miller blocked. Battier.
Great defense by Shane. I mean, Andre Miller basically had nowhere to go. He tried to force the shot, didn't get the bailout call.
And Lorenzen Wright fouled by Wesley Person. Shane Battier had a couple blocks Sunday against LA and gets another one here.
That time was clearly not a foul on that time as he wipes out our cameraman, but he's a tough guy too.
Yeah, Lon can take it. Well, you know, interestingly enough, Shane has had 5 games where he has had 3 or more blocks in a game.
And that's just really, really good defensive pressure by Shane. I mean, he plays with so much emotion and heart.
So Lorenzen steps to the free throw line. The foul on Person is his 2nd. And already Denver with 14 fouls. The Grizzlies have not committed a team foul in the quarter. And you got to convert them. Kroger's year of the uniform, the final giveaway of the season, Sunday against the Charlotte Bobcats. Emeka Okafor will be in the house. The first 3,000 kids will receive these Grizzlies shorts. If you missed out on any items, you can visit Kroger's to complete your set. But come on down to FedEx Forum. If you think this atmosphere is something, you got to experience it firsthand. 901-888-HoopGrizzlies.com or Ticketmaster. Person can't handle the pass. Battier the steal. 9 turnovers for the Nuggets. Grizzlies with 13 as they struggled to hang on to the ball in the second quarter. Miller's calling for it. To a coming Lorenzen right. Ball movement, player movement. Michael, that was beautiful.
We talked about how important it is against shot blockers. They are finding a way to knife inside of this tough front line defense of the Nuggets.
Give and go, Andre Miller. The setup from Kenyon Martin.
That time J. Will lost his man. Andre Miller was able to come up with the big score.
Andre Miller averages 13 and a half. He's got a dozen. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Miller gets by Person, shoots it up. No! Rebound. Lorenzen knocked it free. And the Grizzlies get a fresh shot clock.
Right now, the Grizzlies are winning the hustle game, Pete. I mean, they're coming up with possessions. They're keeping them off the offensive glass and getting turnovers.
Miller on Miller. Martin comes to double. Jason for 3. Rebound. Battier tracks it down. Person and Martin came together.
You know, the hustle game is so important, folks, in playoff basketball. And this is what the Grizzlies are winning right now.
Powell sets up Mike for 3. Can be the rebound, but stolen by J-Will. Gasol got hit, got it back.
And how big was that series of plays for the Grizzlies? They know now that they can compete with this team at any level on all areas of the game. They're hustling and keeping them off the offensive glass as Kenyon Martin gets a monster alley-oop play from Marcus Camby right there.
So the Nuggets score on this spectacular play, but right now, Michael, as you point out, the Grizzlies winning the hustle game. They're out rebounding the Nuggets 27-19. That's a bad pass by Mike Miller, and Boykins is fouled. Jason had to take that foul to stop the fast break.
You know, just talk about right here. I mean, just get going right here, sharing the basketball over to Lorenzen Wright. I mean, it's nice to see him get that emotional slam. This here was a great pass here by Marcus Camby, and look at the elevation of Kenyon Martin. How many times have you seen him do that?
Martin, he's in double digits now with 10.
Hopefully not that much tonight, but he's certainly done a lot of that in his career.
Andre Miller gets the step out of the double team. Kenyon Martin steps out and puts one in from the perimeter. The Nuggets are shooting 57%.
And that's why they're hanging around in this game. I mean, they're only down 5 points. It seems as though it's a whole lot more because the Grizzlies are coming up with such fantastic hustle plays and scores.
Lorenzen around the horn. Wren lost it. Gasol got it back, nearly had his head handed to him. And the foul, let's see if this is on Canby. It's called on Kenyon Martin. It is his second, but Denver goes over the foul limit.
But what I like, though, Pete, is that they're winning this hustle on every play. I mean, you get the ball stripped, Powell recovers it, he gets fouled. I mean, the Grizzlies are just hanging around. They won't give up. They are persistent on every play.
Gasol with a miss from the free throw line. Jason Williams goes out, and Earl Watson returns to the lineup. Grizzlies nursing a 5-point lead. We talked about Denver's shooting percentage. They've hit for 50% or better in 7 of their last 10 games. Gasol 1 of 2 from the stripe, 72-66. Powell with 9 of his 14 here in the third. Carmelo Anthony, the leading scorer with 18, on the bench with 4 fouls.
Once again, another pick and roll. That's the second pick and roll on this whole play here.
That won't count as Miller was bumped on the pass off. Foul called on Mike Miller. For Miller, it is his first.
That's actually a break for the Grizzlies.
And the first Grizzlies foul here in the third. 2:57 for the third. Grizzlies a 6-point lead over the Denver Nuggets. 72-66, the Grizzlies with the lead over the Denver Nuggets late in the third quarter. A reminder that our next telecast on FSN South, Grizzlies are going to hit the road, and this is the defining road trip of the season. They go to the Denver Mavericks, the Dallas Mavericks, I should say, next Monday at 7:30. Grizzlies tonight kicks it off at 7 o'clock right here on FSN South. And if you have Denver on the mind, why not? Shooting 57% from the floor. And one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. Brian Cardinal comes in the ball game. Pau Gasol sits down.
I thought that the Grizzlies have done a great job so far, Pete, in this third quarter of controlling the tempo. They got up hand a little bit in the first quarter. As you look at the field goal shooting percentage by both teams, it's quite impressive.
Denver has been on fire here in the third. Person spoons one out. Rebound to Lorenzen Wright.
Once again, I thought the Grizzlies are doing a very good job so far, Pete, of keeping them on the outside. You see Kenyon Martin taking shots. That time Wesley Pertz, Andre Miller.
Brian Cardinal trying to get free against Person. Instead, Lorenzen Wright will take it and make it from the foul line. Lorenzen Wright averaging 9.5. He's got a dozen and 5 rebounds.
Coach Eric Musselman talked about, folks, before the game. It's just getting those big guys outside, keeping those shot blockers away from the basket. That's how you do it, by taking the outside shot and making it.
Andre Miller against Earl Watson. Andre's going to back him down, 9 to shoot. Double clutches, throws up an air special. Lorenzen the rebound. Grizzlies look to run. Coming upon 2 minutes to play in the third.
That is just good defense once again down here on the other end by the Grizzlies, Pete. Forcing Andre Miller into a tough shot. Officials not bailing them out tonight.
Miller, that's a 3. Going to be long, and the rebound tracked down. And a foul, loose ball foul called against Denver. And they are over the foul limit. Andre Miller with the loose ball foul, his second. Eduardo Naharak comes in.
Well, the Nuggets are struggling right now, Pete. They can't get anything started on the offensive glass. So, after a while, you get frustrated. You start to hold on to guys, push guys. And that time, Andre Miller got caught holding on the play as Brian Cardinal has a rare miss.
Yeah, BC missed 2 on Sunday, misses 1 tonight. He is 9th in the NBA, 88.3%. Let's reset the lineups for Denver. Andre Miller, Martin, Person, Boykins, and Nahara for the Grizzlies. As BC puts the second one in, it's Lorenzen Wright, Mike Miller, Cardinal, Watson, and Wells.
Well, how big was Carmelo Anthony getting that 4th foul, as he was really having an exceptional night.
Kenyon Martin is open and hits again. That's what's so impressive about Denver. They're shooting 55.5%, Michael, and not all of them are dunks and layups.
Well, he has that ability. I mean, he was an all-star with New Jersey. He's been to the NBA Finals twice.
And Earl Boykins with a hand check foul against Earl Watson. And that is definitely a reversal from the last game played between these two teams, when Boykins went to the free throw line something like 16, 17 times.
Well, they've done a very good job, Pete, of not allowing him to control the game. I thought he controlled the game in the third and fourth quarter.
Well, you make 15 of 16 free throws, as Boykins did in the last meeting. That'll happen. Earl puts down the first free throw.
I mean, which is worse? Well, what about a Christic in New Jersey getting 17 attempts? But the Grizzlies was able to win that game as well, too.
Grizzlies now 17 of 22 from the free throw line. The Nuggets only 6 of 8 from the line. But they've stayed on the perimeter. This time Martin will drive and dish. Grizzlies knock it out of bounds. 10 on the shot clock.
That time they did a better job of closing out on Kenyon Martin, forcing him to put the ball on the floor, and then the rotation of the defense deflected the ball out of bounds.
And Carmelo Anthony is back in the ball game. Person, he's a shooter. Anthony got the offensive rebound. That's the first offensive rebound for Denver since the first quarter.
And that's not bad, folks. You're going to have offensive rebounds that are going to inadvertently fall in a person's hands, the way it happened to Carmelo Anthony. Grizzlies done a very good job of just letting that be a plus tonight, of not allowing them on them.
Cardinal. Rebound, Lorenzen. Miller, that's a 3. Grizzlies just 3 for 14 from downtown. And you notice that they brought Carmelo Anthony in when Shane went out of the ball game.
Well, George Karl saw that this game was getting out of hand here.
Boykins with a miss. Lorenzen tracks it down in the corner.
Well, the Grizzlies are certainly getting some good looks at the three-point basket tonight, Pete. Right now they're just not falling, but you got to keep shooting them.
Now Grizzlies 20% from downtown over the last handful of games. Cardinal sets up Wells against Kenyon Martin. Kenyon, that's a blocking foul, and Wells will get free throws with 21.1 remaining in the quarter.
I don't blame Kenyon. I'd laugh too, because he fell before he even made his move to the basket. officials have done a very good job of just balancing the calls, not necessarily one way or the other, but just not allowing plays like that to affect the game where, you know, clearly it was a blocking foul. And you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, as the Grizzlies miss another free throw, that there's a veteran, you know, crew to here tonight.
Yeah, Mike Callahan in his 15th season, Michael Smith in his 12th, and Sean Corbin in his 12th. All three of these officials have worked playoff games. And so a good job by the NBA schedulers as Bonzi misses 2 from the free throw line to get a veteran crew to work what is in many senses a playoff game. And the Grizzlies with a 5-point edge off the bench. Right now 5 missed free throws in the last 3 minutes. That hurts. Carmelo for 3. Miller nearly lost the rebound. Lorenzen, and that will do it for the third quarter of play. Grizzlies will take a 6-point lead to the 4th. Last time these two teams met, Grizzlies had a 9-point advantage. They couldn't hold it that night. Will they tonight? Stay tuned and find out. Grizzlies 76, Denver 70. Kenyon Martin will try to get Denver back in front. Lorenzen Wright says, not in my house. You're watching Memphis Grizzlies basketball on FSN South. Memphis Grizzlies with a 6-point lead heading into the 4th quarter. We're off Beale Street in downtown Memphis at FedEx Forum. I'm Pete Pranica. He's Michael Cage, and everybody's enjoying themselves tonight as the Grizzlies have a 6-point lead as we head into the 4th quarter.
Just a great game so far, Pete, as you see both teams are playing extremely well, shooting the ball extremely well.
Kenyon Martin against Lorenzen Wright. Martin's step back is in. Boy, these guys just haven't been missing from the perimeter. Martin is 6 of 9. Carmelo Anthony 9 of 12. Andre Miller 6 of 10. Grizzlies lead down to 4. It's Wright, Miller, Cardinal, Watson, and Wells on the floor. Miller has a seam. Wells going to drive it to the bucket, but left it short. And Kenyon Martin taking Bonzi Wells down, and it's a jump ball.
That's a pretty physical play right there. As you see, they both get tied up. But what Kenyon does is he pulls backwards and brings Bonzi Wells with him.
Well, and given Martin's reputation for flagrant fouls that he established in New Jersey, that's why the fans are responding.
I mean, a guy can get hurt in a play like that.
And the tip comes to Wesley Person. Fans booing. Boykins turns the corner. The teardrop dances off. Rebound to Lorenzen Wright. Brian Cardinal went down. Lorenzen with 8 rebounds. Earl on the move. Got Nahara up in the air. Nahara blocked the shot. Now the pace is the way Denver wants it. Earl knocks it out of bounds off Boykins. They'll say it's Denver basketball.
And this is a playoff game, folks. You're going to see plays like that. It's a lot of excitement, a lot of intensity. The Grizzlies have certainly matched that. They're playing with a certain tremendous amount of focus out here.
Person off the drive, 10 to shoot. Boykins.
Good job of keeping Boykins in front of him right there, not fouling him.
Gets a screen from Kenyon Martin. Got BC up in the air. The bank not open. Lorenzen rebound number 9.
Right now the Grizzlies want to settle down, work it inside to Powell. Well, Powell's not out there, but work it inside to try to get into the paint. They've had so much success. Don't settle for the open J unless it's wide open.
They get the switch. Boykins is on Cardinal off the screen roll. 6 to shoot. Miller against Nahara. Going to drive it. His floater in and out. Grizzlies have come out cold to start the 4th. Boykins. Martin. And Boykins gets his first field goal of the night. 1 for 7. 2-point game, 76-74. Boykins had tortured the Grizzlies, averaging 22 a game in the first 2 meetings. And a foul going to be called against Denver's Wesley Person. That's his 3rd. For the Grizzlies, Gasol and Battier come in. Mike Miller and Lorenzen Wright, I do believe, will sit down with 9:47 remaining. For Denver, they bring in Nene, along with Carmelo Anthony, Nahara, Person, and Earl Boykins.
This becomes a big possession for the Grizzlies as they have not scored so far in this fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter is when Denver took control against Portland on Saturday night. They had a 14-0 run at one point. Earl leans, misses. Boykins tips the rebound, and here comes Denver on a run. Person spots up the three for the lead. Cardinal with a rebound, taking it away from Nahara. Grizzlies have yielded just 3 offensive rebounds and 1 second chance bucket to Denver. But they're in need of some offense. Gasol working against Nene. Loose ball foul on Denver, says Mike Callahan. This one's on Nahara. It is his second.
That was a big, great break right there for the Grizzlies, as they couldn't come up with the score on that end, but because of the persistence of Brian Cardinal, was able to get fouled, attempting the offensive rebound.
Grizzlies start the quarter 0 for 5, and they have gone scoreless over their last 7 possessions. Wells against Carmelo Anthony, feeds Gasol in tight. Oh, and the Denver defense rakes it free. Anthony had the hot hand in the first half. Wells with the steal. They were trying to bring it to Nene. Wells second on the team in steals per game at 1.3. Wells, that's a 3. And the Grizzlies continue to struggle. Boykins pulls up. Alan Cardinal lost the rebound as he and Gasol came together. Anthony a 3 for the lead. And you're beginning to see, Michael, perhaps Denver's legs a little weary with all the outside shots.
And right now the Grizzlies want to be trying to be patient offensively. Get it inside. Make that move just like this right here.
Earl had the alley, couldn't finish. Nahara was late coming over and made him adjust the shot. Boykins.
They are doing a very good job of making him see a crowd. He is not able to get started here in this fourth quarter as he did the last time they played the Nuggets.
Gets the high screen from Nene. 4 to shoot. Boykins. And we are tied at 76. Grizzlies call time. 7:47 remaining in regulation. A 10-1 run by the Nuggets. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies start the quarter 0 for 7.
Come on, Grizzlies.
We are tied 76, 7:47 remaining in regulation. On Sunday, the world's best players will once again gather to finally answer the question, who is the greatest poker player in the world? You'll find out on Poker Superstars 2, Sunday at 7, only on FSN South. Grizzlies need a hit here, Michael, in the worst way.
They sure do. I mean, they haven't been able to manage the foul situation, as Denver only has 2 team fouls right now. So you certainly want to try to get fouls so you can get to the free throw line if you're struggling.
Miller got to the front of the rim, couldn't finish. Got knocked down, no call. Boykins on a run, going to take it all the way. Anthony rejected. Gasol had it knocked away. Boykins for 3. Jason tips the rebound to Battier. Grizzlies dodge a bullet.
And once again, they denied Boykins, his opportunity to control the game. But the Grizzlies right now are just not finishing.
And Miller is tripped, I believe, by Nahara. Nahara and Person were both in the vicinity. This foul's on Nahara. And Denver with 3 team fouls. His third personal. This can be returns.
The Grizzlies, Pete, are able to get to the basket, but they have to finish. I mean, that's going to be very important for them from this time on, with just over 7 minutes to go. You're going to get to the basket, concentrate, and finish.
Jason trying to get to the rim. Boykins knocked it away, and Jason recovers and scores. Grizzlies back in front.
I mean, how big was that basket? Almost 5 minutes it took for the Grizzlies to score their first 2 points of the fourth quarter.
Boykins and J. Will matched up on the wing. 8 to shoot. Anthony sets the screen. Canby off the drive. The runner. Rebound taken by Jason. Canby goes down. Gasol held by Boykins. And the Grizzlies, I think, get a break there. That's now 14 fouls on Denver.
Certainly is, Pete. You look at the 6.5 minutes to go, and you're struggling offensively. You want to get to that free throw line right now, as the Grizzlies have only had one made field goal in the quarter.
Denver has not gone to the line this half. Grizzlies have gone 10 times. Miller off the screen. Yes! Mike Miller. And the Grizzlies a 4-point lead. Mike Fratello urging the Grizzlies to get back defensively. Andre Miller back in the ball game. And I believe Cardinal and Nene come together, and BC picks up the foul.
Good foul by Brian, as Nene had a deep post position on him. You know, Brian, the custodian, is always a fighter. As you see, Kenyon Martin comes back into the game. He's shot the ball exceptionally well here, Pete, in the second half here. Kmart has, as you see, Nene go out of the game.
At FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee, the Grizzlies leading the Nuggets by 4. Carmelo Anthony cuts down the lane and dunks. And the Grizzlies lead is cut to 2.
One of the very few easy baskets Carmelo Anthony has been able to get inside all night. You just don't want too many to happen this late in the fourth quarter.
Anthony, his 37th game of 20 or more. Jay Will pulls the trigger, and a long rebound, Andre Miller. Denver with an opportunity to tie. Boykins had it knocked away. Gasol lost it. No reset of the shot clock. Grizzlies very nearly had a stop. Boykins got Miller in the air, and Boykins leans in and gets the foul call. Miller the foul, 5:32 remaining. Boykins shoots to tie the game, 80-78, 5:32 remaining, and a timeout on the floor. High emotion, high drama at FedEx Forum. The Memphis lead is precarious at 80-78, 5:32 remaining in regulation time. Michael, let's revisit your 4 keys to the game.
Well, the first one was the big ones, I thought, was transition defense. That's why they still have the lead, because Denver only, believe it or not, has 4, folks. Minimize turnovers, 14 turnovers, not bad if you can keep it right there. Contain Denver's front line, 38 points from the front court. That's not bad, because you're talking about between 3 guys.
Right.
You know, Nene, Marcus Camby, Kmart, he's come on exceptionally well here.
Anthony has 22, Camby with a dozen, Kenyon Martin with 16 off the bench. Nene has been limited to 4 as Mike Fratello talks to Mike Callahan about that last call. Boykins goes to the free throw line, where he missed 2 earlier tonight, and again, he's the second leading free throw shooter in the league at 93%.
Made George Karl's leaving Earl Boykins out here to see if he can get them started, come up with the old magic that he came up with the last time they played the Grizzlies here. He basically took charge in the fourth quarter, as he made, I believe, 15 of 16 free throws.
Yep. And 2 of 2 that trip. We're back to even at 80. Nothing has been decided. Grizzlies have led it by as many as 9. The Nuggets by as many as 8.
This game will come down to someone being able to play defense and score. A 1-possession game.
Cardinal will take a 3. And the Grizzlies just not shooting the ball well from deep. 3 for 16 on the night. Foul called on Jason Williams, and again, Michael, as you point out, Boykins starting to assert himself offensively. Fourth quarter is his specialty. As you look at the 3-point shooting, not good either side.
Well, he's looking to attack the basket right now. I mean, he's going straight toward the basket. He's not really looking to set up a play. He's a very clever, very crafty player.
Grizzlies 3-team fouls, 4 against Denver. Anthony against Battier. Carmelo, the leading scorer in the game. Kenyon Martin's long gun is in. It's a 2. Kenyon Martin is putting on a shooting exhibition. 7 of 10 for 18 points, and Denver has reclaimed the lead at 82-80. A 6-0 Denver run.
Well, this is where the Grizzlies need to get the ball inside. Feed off of Powell. Let him make his move.
Working against Kmart. Kmart slaps his hand. Ball comes free. Mike Fratello looking for a foul call. Boykins gets to the rim. Throws up a wild shot. Battier the rebound. Grizzlies look to counterattack. Boykins remains down on the floor at the other end. Back in the picture now. Jason for three. And knocked out of bounds by Shane.
Right now, the Grizzlies are just taking way too many outside shots, Pete. I mean, you don't have to take those shots. Work it inside. Feed off of what Powell can do. He's capable of doing it. He's done it against Milwaukee the other night, against the Lakers. They're just settling for too many jump shots right now, and that's playing into Denver's hands because the game is under 5 minutes or just over four minutes, and Denver is starting to tighten things up.
Grizzlies 2 for 13 to start the quarter.
Here comes the pick and roll with Carmelo Anthony. They want to create the mismatch.
Boykins against Jason Williams, 8 to shoot. Boykins turns the corner. Anthony is open. Lorenzen with a rebound.
Right now, the Grizzlies just need a score, Pete. They just need to come up and score the ball.
Lorenzen from outside. And the Grizzlies just not taking it to the front of the rim right now. Lorenzen Wright with that last rebound, by the way. Double-double number 14, Boykins. And Lorenzen adds to his total. He had 18 rebounds the last time these two teams played. And the fourth quarter, it's been light on offense, particularly from the Grizzlies' perspective. Just 4 points from Memphis. 3:14 to play in regulation time. Miller against Miller, and Andre Miller guilty of the hold. Denver is over the foul limit, so Mike Miller gets free throws with 3:11 remaining.
How big was that? The patience there to try to get the ball inside and not settle for another jump shot. Now you earn 2 trips to the free throw line, which become extremely important because the Grizzlies have just not been able to score here in the fourth quarter, Pete.
Miller 2 for 2 from the line. And it's all going bad right now. Fans, we invite you to join First Tennessee as they cheer on the Memphis Grizzlies as they play on. Enter to win 2 courtside seats in the playoffs in the First Tennessee Slam Dunk Sweepstakes. See First Tennessee Financial Centers for official rules and details. The promotion ends April 15th. And Mike missed a pair. Grizzlies 17 of 26 from the free throw line, 65.5%. And a lob for Carmelo Anthony. Denver back up by 4. An 8-0 Denver run.
Right now, it's just the Grizzlies have to answer this run. I mean, they are just taking too many shots. They're not making their free throws. They're only down 4 points. They still have plenty of time.
Gasol against Kmart. 6 to shoot. Powell got it. A big shot over Kenyon Martin, and the Grizzlies are with it 2 at 84-82.
It's just a 1-possession game. You still have plenty of time. The defense is going to be the key right here.
Don't forget, Sunday night, Charlotte Bobcats will be in the house. Tickets still available, 901-888-hoopgrizzlies.com, FedEx Forum box office, and Ticketmaster. A sellout tonight. Miller, the drive. Oh, and that was under heavy duress by Pau Gasol. In fact, Pau clipped him on the arm, and Miller was still able to finish.
Denver has come alive here in the fourth quarter. They're finishing right now. They're getting to the basket. They're getting the easy basket that they didn't get in the early part of the game. And that's been the difference.
Gasol against Kmart. Might have been blocked. Battier, yes, and one! It was Lorenzen Wright, not Shane.
You know, this game is so close, folks, that it's going to come down to the little things, like offensive rebounding.
Timeout on the floor. Denver 86, Grizzlies 85. Lorenzen Wright has 14. Grizzlies basketball on FSN South, brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. By Hollywood Casino, your place to shine. By FedEx. Relax, it's FedEx. By First Tennessee, all things financial. By International Paper. And by Pepsi-Cola, the official soft drink of the Memphis Grizzlies. Quiet on Beale Street, noisy inside. FedEx Forum, 17th sellout of the season, watching Lorenzen Wright trying to bring the Grizzlies within one, but Memphis has missed its last 5 from the free throw line. Make it 6. 17 for 27, and you can't leave points like that on the table. Down 2, 1:42 to play.
Denver's certainly trying to get the ball into Carmelo Anthony's hand. Shane Battier is doing a great job of just keeping him in front of him.
And Jason commits the foul against Andre Miller, and Miller will shoot 2 free throws. Miller is an 83% free throw shooter, and Denver burned it down to 4 seconds on the shot clock before pulling the trigger.
Look at the free throw shooting for Denver in the second half here. 12 of 14, only 5 of 13 for the Grizzlies. I mean, the Grizzlies, as you said, Pete, have missed 5 free throws here in the second half, and you know it's only at this point a 2-point ball game. I mean, when you're in these close games, as Andre Miller makes the first of 2, you have to make free throws. I mean, they played such an excellent game up until this fourth quarter. I mean, with keeping Denver off the glass, guarding the pick and roll, basically controlling the tempo for the first three quarters.
Grizzlies only 8 points here in the quarter. Miller 1 of 2. Oh, and a stick back by Kenyon Martin, and you can't let that happen. Just a second chance bucket for Denver, but a huge one. A 5-point Denver lead, 89-84.
Well, it certainly changes the dynamics of the game, because now it's not a 2-possession game as Mike Miller comes up with a big 2 right there.
Miller responds. He's got 16, 89-86. So now the onus falls to the Memphis defense.
Well, you don't want to put him on the free throw line, obviously, you know, as you approach 1 minute to go in the game. You simply want to play good defense, don't allow him to run the clock down, and don't, you know, keep him off the offensive glass.
Memphis is out of fouls to give. And Andre Miller spins to the rim and scores, and it's back to a 5-point game. 50 seconds remaining. Got to get back on the offensive end, and Carmelo Anthony getting away with murder against Shane Battier. Now Gasol in deep, got hammered, and will get free throws. But this is where the Grizzlies have had problems, is at the free throw line.
You know, anytime you miss 5 free throws in a close game here in the second half, that's bound to hurt you. You know, and then the untimely second shots, which they've done a very good job of protecting the defensive glass here in this whole game. But it comes down to concentration and being focused in these closing minutes, or in this closing quarter, which just the Grizzlies just have not been able to stay with it with the same intensity of the first 3 quarters.
Gasol good with the first. Powell 17 and 3 of 5 from the free throw line. Boykins will come in as George Karl will play offense defense. They want him in for offense. DeMar Johnson in for Boykins for offense, Johnson for defense. And Powell rattles the second one down. 39.6. Denver a 3-point lead. They cannot run out the clock. So the Grizzlies get a stop here. They will have an opportunity.
And at this point, Pete, it's just a 1-possession game. So it's going to come down to this big defensive stop right here for the Grizzlies.
Denver 6-4 in games decided by 3 or fewer. The Grizzlies are 6-10. Boykins gets the high screen. Anthony's had the hot hand. Boykins off the penetration, left it short. And the Grizzlies call timeout. 15 seconds remaining. Grizzlies will have it, an opportunity to tie. Timeout on the floor. 15 seconds remaining in regulation time. Back to FedEx Forum in a moment. 91-88. Memphis with a deficit facing them. Seconds remaining, Michael, and the Grizzlies are 3 for 17 from downtown, and they are 0 for the second half from beyond the arc.
And you know, you couple that with the 4 free throw shooting here in this fourth quarter, what they certainly want to do is try to get a 3-point shot off at this point. And you got 15 seconds left. That's plenty of time to execute and get somebody open. But if you're not able to get a good look at a 3, you certainly want to go to the basket and finish and try to get an and one or get to the free throw line to stop the clock.
Grizzlies with their starting five of Battier, Gasol, Wright, Williams, and Mike Miller. For Denver, it's Anthony, Camby, Miller, Johnson, and Martin. And now the Grizzlies are going to make a change here. Brian Cardinal will come in. Lorenzen Wright will sit down.
Well, he's bringing in another three-point shooter, which is a smart play by Mike Fratello. Now you have four players around Pau Gasol who can shoot a three-pointer.
Grizzlies work on these plays every day and shoot around. Miller trying to get free. Gasol for three and a tie. Rebound by Camby. Gasol just 1 of 5 for the season from downtown. It went halfway down. Battier the foul with 5 seconds remaining.
You know, Powell certainly had a good look at the three-point attempt right there, but is that the guy that you want to take the shot is the question.
But Denver did a good job, I think, of defending against Mike Miller. They forced him to put the ball on the floor as Camby hits the free throw for a 4-point Denver lead. And Denver will, unless things change in the next 5 seconds, will take this season series. They will have won 3 straight this season.
You know, they've done a great job of coming in here and silencing a very good playing Memphis Grizzlies team.
5-point game off 2 free throws by Camby. Grizzlies call time. It's their last full timeout. While we have an opportunity, Michael, we want to send congratulations to Hubie Brown on his election to the Basketball Hall of Fame.
You know, such a wonderful honor. You know eventually he was going to get that. But to be able to receive that accolade yesterday, certainly, Pete, I agree with you. Congratulations to Hubie Brown and all the years he's put into coaching and also into this organization here.
Let's take a look at the last play. The Grizzlies trying to get a 3 to tie the game.
Well, I thought Jay Will had a good look there for a minute, and he gave it to Mike Miller, who did a good job of just turning, finding an open foul, because, I mean, he's wide open. You know, everybody else is covered on the play.
Andre Miller did a good job of taking away the angle in the corner. Shane was camped in the corner, but Miller did a good job. And the Nuggets, well-schooled defensively, forced Gasol to try the 3. And Denver looks to win their 4th in a row. They'll lose their string of 100 or more points in a game. They had scored 100 or more in 11 consecutive games, the longest streak in Denver history since the 94-95 season.
Well, you got to give them credit, you know, to George Karl and the Denver Nuggets for coming in here and playing a very good basketball game here in the second half. I mean, they shot the ball extremely well here. They didn't get a whole lot of inside points, which is really strange, but they were able to shoot the ball well from the floor. You talk about Kenyon Martin, Marcus Camby, Carmelo Anthony. These guys all made very big baskets for him. Harold Borkins didn't have the type of game he had the last time here in Memphis, but he was able to come up with some big baskets at times.
Gasol, Battier for 3. Got it with 2.3. Grizzlies have a 20-second timeout, and Andre Miller is fouled with 1.6. Andre Miller tonight, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, 17 points.
Big basket by Shane in the corner right there. Grizzlies have not been able to do this, folks. Come up with the big 3 ball. I mean, it's well executed right here. Brian steps up as the decoy. Powell gets the ball inside, finds Shane wide open.
Battier with 8. So Miller with 2 free throws, 1.6 remaining. Grizzlies have a 20-second timeout to take.
They can get him to miss one of these. It becomes still a 1-possession game. At this point, it's still a 1-possession game.
And this is the key free throw for Andre Miller. Miller 83% from the free throw line.
I thought he's come up big here in the second half, Pete. He's made a couple of really big baskets inside for them.
For a 4-point lead, no! And the Grizzlies call a 20-second timeout with 1.4 remaining. Well, 1.4 remaining. Grizzlies will throw in from half court. Still a chance for overtime here, and still a chance for you to get down to FedEx Forum and be part of the thrill here at FedEx Forum. Grizzlies have sold out 17 games. The next home game, or not the next home game, but on Sunday night, the Grizzlies will take on the Charlotte Bobcats. The Miami game on Friday night, that is sold out, so tickets not available except for the Sonic Saver seats. But there are still tickets available for the Charlotte game. See Emeka Okafor, he and Ben Gordon, former UConn teammates, vying for Rookie of the Year honors. So if you haven't seen the Bobcats, come on down. 901-888-HOOP, Grizzlies.com, the FedEx Forum box office. All right, here we go. 1.3.
Well, that's clearly enough time, Pete, to get a shot off. Whoever gets the ball has to take the shot, and they have to be in three-point range.
Jason will throw in. It's Gasol, Miller, Cardinal, and Battier. Cardinal for the tie. And that does it. Denver wins it 94-91, and for the second time in as many trips to Memphis, Denver comes back after trailing through 3 quarters, and they win it in the fourth, 94-91. Carmelo Anthony leads all scorers with 24, and the Grizzlies fall to 41-32. We'll be back to FedEx Forum for the Grizzlies postgame show in a moment.